Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now, I've been in quite a reflective mood just recently because I've reached my mid-50s. I'm 54, broaching upon 55 in the early new year. And it's led me to think about the traits that I have come to appreciate in the men that I've met on my life journey, because not everybody is imbued with the same qualities that I find attractive and valuable in other men. Now, of course, like everybody, my life journey has been touched by a varied cross-section of people. When I was very young, of course, my father, he was the first well-dressed man that I ever remember, always wearing a tie, always smart and presentable. I went to school. My teachers were, of course, very influential upon me. You know, I spent, 7 hours a day in the presence of people, and the way they dressed reflected on my vision of how a smart and professional person dresses. And back in those days, gentlemen teachers wore collar and tie, sports jacket, suits. They were presentable men. Then, as I went on, my formative years continued to unfold. I was an air cadet youth organisation. The men who looked after us, our instructors, they were well dressed. Yes, they wore uniforms, but they wore them with aplomb. They wore them with confidence, and they dressed respectfully for the situation that they faced. And in my later years, serving in the military and in law enforcement and working on charity boards and other organisations, I encountered people who left a mark upon me. Because in everyday life, the people that we encounter leave a trace of themselves on us, and it affects us as we go forward. Now, recently I've been reflecting on those traits which I find important. And today I'm going to share with you 5 traits that I think are essential for a man to call himself a man, and a successful man at that. Now, the first trait, which I find very valuable, very attractive, very powerful in a man, is the ability to speak up for himself. Because I will openly admit to you, when I was younger, I was shy. In fact, I would say I was really quite shy. I was reticent in voicing my opinions and my thoughts to other people. You know, if I saw somebody doing something that I didn't agree with, rather than speak up, I was more inclined to stand back and watch, and perhaps, in my mind, hope that somebody else would be the one to voice their thoughts and stand up and say what had to be said. Now, over the years, my maturity and the experiences that I have encountered in life have changed the way that I am able to communicate to other people. A working career in law enforcement will very quickly teach you how to speak up and express your opinion to other people who are perhaps doing something wrong or something that they shouldn't. But I was slow in reaching that level. So for me, I find it very, very attractive when I see a man who is prepared to open his mouth and tell people how he feels about either them or the situation that he's facing. Have you ever been in a queue of people and somebody else pushes in and you have always thought to yourself, "Ooh, that's awful." But there's perhaps one guy in that queue, maybe in front of you or behind you, who'll be the one who says, "You, what do you think you're doing, pushing in? Get back here." Don't you wish that you had the confidence to be that person who could speak and voice their opinions and get situations sorted out? It's taken me a long time. I am still on that journey, but I find in other men the character trait of having the confidence to speak out, and not only that, but having the ability to articulate their thoughts in such a way as it lands with the audience that you're trying to speak to. I think that is a great trait, an amazing skill, which can be honed throughout one's whole life. Now, right now, I make the majority of my living through speaking to other people, be that as a trainer for a well-being charity, be that here on YouTube. I'm an officiant at funerals. I'm a funeral celebrant. I also do a number of other things, guest speaking appearances. So the ability to speak when other people are perhaps less confident to do so, and to articulate yourself well, actually pays the bills for me. So it's definitely a trait which it is worth mastering as early as possible on your life journey. Now, the next trait which I value in men that I meet and in myself is the ability to step up and do something which other people don't. And I tell you what I mean is because during the course of my life, I discovered many years ago that one of the skills that I needed to master to have a successful and enjoyable life was to volunteer my time for the benefit of other people. Now, a lot of people will say, I don't have time for that. My life is too busy. I've got 5 kids. I've got a stressful job. So is everybody else. So have some of the best volunteers that I have met. What they've been good at is sorting out their personal admin so that they have time to help others. Now, I've leaned very heavily into this ideology of volunteering during my life journey, and I have discovered it has provided me with some of the most important and transferable skills that I have used throughout my life to make my life better and the lives of those around me. Now, the skills which I have taken have been so useful to me because, yes, you can help beneficiaries in your journey as a volunteer. It is primarily about helping other people. But not only that, that you will acquire new skills. You will build friendship groups that you would never normally be exposed to as a volunteer. People from higher than you in the social hierarchy and certainly lower than you, be they beneficiaries or the volunteers who are alongside you. You will certainly make friendships that will last well beyond your volunteering activities. And I tell you one thing, it gives you a reason for your life. You realize that you have genuine purpose in your activities. You're not just going through life somewhat selfishly, doing everything for your accord. But when you volunteer, you see the world through a different perspective, through the eyes of the beneficiaries that you're helping and those who are alongside you trying to make life better for others. So for me, the trait that I very much admire is stepping up to the plate and doing something for your community that you don't have to, but that you want to make the world a better place for everybody else. And in so doing, it'll make it a better place for you too, with the skills and the friends that you acquire through your volunteering journey. Now, the next trait, and this is a really good one, that I admire in men is they're not afraid to mess up in life. A trait that I've noticed, which is shared by some of the greatest men who have ever lived, is that they are not hindered by the crippling sense of fear which affects so many people as they go through life. And it leads to them being afraid to try something new or try just even food that they've never tasted before because they're afraid that they're not going to like it. Quality people are not afraid to do things in the knowledge that it might go wrong. Because if you hold back all your life and you only do things that you're pretty sure that you're going to like or enjoy, your life will be beige. It will taste vanilla because you are not taking any chances. So I positively venerate people who are not held back by fear, who are unafraid to go into a new venture in the knowledge that it may go terribly wrong. Because even if it does, you've gained something positive, you've tried something new, you've discovered it wasn't for you, or it wasn't something that you had the qualities to succeed at. You can tick that box. You now know never to do it again. Having that crippling sense of fear holding you back, being afraid to do things because you might fail, it's never going to lead to success in life. You have to take a chance. You have to be prepared to mess up and go wrong, to go forwards and be the best version of yourself. Now, the next trait which I appreciate in a modern man is one which you should have guessed was coming, and that is, I appreciate a man who is prepared to dress up as he faces life. Because these days, as you go through the world, you will notice that few men make the effort to dress to impress. So it really does impress me when I see a man who has dressed with intention when he has left the house. He has dressed to show respect for himself. He has dressed to show respect for the situation that he's going into. And he is dressed to show respect for us, because when we meet him, he knows that the way he has dressed will convey something about him to us. And it takes a bit of confidence to do that these days, because everybody around you, well, they won't be wearing a necktie, they won't be wearing a nice blazer, maybe a shirt with a collar. They're going to be dressed to the lowest common denominator that they can get away with. They're going to be wearing jeans, a t-shirt, maybe even shorts, flip-flops, Crocs, those sinful footwear, the shoes of the devil. But the intentionally well-dressed man, the man who has dressed for the occasion, knows that the way he dresses is like a modern-day suit of armour. It imbues him with a greater sense of confidence as he goes through life. Being dressed well, receiving compliments from people as you stride through life, it makes your back a little straighter, puffs your chest out a little further, and you know that you are facing the world head-on and dressed for that situation. It gives you more confidence. And the man who dresses that way knows that it impacts on the people that he will meet. They will treat him as he is, perhaps showing them he is more professional. He has dressed with intention. So I always remind people that dressing well, it doesn't make the man any better, because, it is the man inside the clothes that we should respect. But putting good clothes on your body shows the world that you have made an effort. And you will be surprised. The world will treat you differently when you do so. So for me, the trait of dressing up to face the world is a very attractive quality in a modern man. Now, the final quality, trait that I admire in people I encounter in life is that they are well sorted as they go through life. Let me explain. Have you ever visited the home of somebody you knew and respected, only to find that their home setting is in a constant state of disarray? Maybe there are unwashed, dirty clothes on the floor in the lounge. Maybe there are unwashed dishes on the table or in the sink. And maybe there is that unsavory aroma that assaults your nostrils and lingers with you long after you've left their house. Maybe that smell of dirty cat litter or wet dog, which you sometimes get in people's houses. People who do not make the effort to sort themselves out in life. Now me, predictably, I am a fastidiously tidy man. In my house, there is a place for everything and everything in its place. Not to the point of obsession. I live my life normally, but I appreciate the value that personal logistics bring my life. I know where to do the laundry. I know there is a place for my ironing. I know everything has its place, and it makes me feel so much more comfortable approaching my life, knowing where things are, how to get to them, and how to do my chores and tasks on time and efficiently. I really respect that when I see other people who are the same, and it damages my respect in them when they live in chaos and perhaps where they allow their level of hygiene to slide a little. Because let's be honest, personal administration, the logistics of life, it doesn't cost anything, but it has a remarkable value for your mental well-being, your physical appearance, and the way that other people will see you as you go through life. So for me, being sorted in life is definitely a trait which I value and I appreciate in other people. So there we are, gentlemen. You will find that the simplest character traits actually possess the most value in your life. They have the ability to significantly improve the quality of our lives for no cost. It is simply an investment in your thought and your efforts to make sure those traits are delivered. Now, if I've missed any out, let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to ask me a question, which might even become a video on this channel, drop me an email. If you'd like to support the channel, you could buy me a coffee. If you would like to join me and become a member of the Chap's Guide family as we strive together towards Chap Nirvana, you can become a member of my Patreon group. And for that, for a tiny amount of money each month, you will have access to the extra videos I make every week, and you will have a much more personal relationship with me. And if you'd like to find out how to become part of that, you'll find the links in the show notes below. So until the next time, gentlemen, work on those character traits. They will pay off, and I will see you again very soon.